This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Is it curling up on the couch for a cozy, peaceful night in? Therapy can feel a bit like that. Your comfort place where you replenish your energy. With BetterHelp, get matched with a therapist based on your needs entirely online. It's convenient and suited to your schedule. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome into a Christmas recap edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Taylor Sharp here with you, sitting in for Mr. Hunt Palmer. Had to do my guy a solid today. We were talking Monday, and he said I was supposed to take off on the 26th. I did not. My wife's going to be mad at me. I'm doing OTB, Hunt, and AFR today, along with Jacob Beck. And I told him, I said, look, Hunt, I'm going to be here 6 to 6 anyways. Take off, go enjoy your wife and kid, have a nice day off. So we are sitting here with you for the next 2 hours or so. Taylor Sharp here with you alongside Jacob Beck and Cassie Spazzali. I want to start the show a little bit different than we normally do. Look, we're going to be super sports heavy. We're going to have Luke Johnson next segment. We're going to talk about the Saints. We're going to recap their stinker against the Packers on Monday night. We're going to talk LSU in the transfer portal. Chris Blair is going to hop on, talk LSU basketball, a Texas Bowl preview, college football playoff round 2. We're going to do it all. But right now, I want to bring Cassie and Jacob in for this first segment. Guys, how was y'all's Christmas?
Go ahead, Cassie.
Oh, mine was pretty good. Got to spend lots of time with my family. My family's in Metairie, so I had to drive a lot, but overall it was pretty good.
So what y'all do? Like, do y'all have a Christmas tradition that maybe y'all do every year? So like, we have a small family. We don't have a ton of like big time traditions, but there are certain things we do every year. Like, what is there something that y'all do every single year?
We always go to Mass Christmas Eve, and then we always go to my uncle's house after that. This year they had to rearrange a little bit, so we went the day before. And then always the day of, we go to my grandma's house, and that's pretty much it. But
no midnight mass for y'all? Nah,
that's too late for me. I like my sleep.
Was it a midnight Catholic wedding on Saturday?
Oh,
so well, the wedding was not at midnight. The wedding was at about 7:30.
That would be.
It was at some
late wedding.
It was at some Catholic church right near LSU. Then we had to drive downtown, and the reception was at the Hilton. The reception lasted until midnight. Now, I was not in this wedding, but I was just close. I was the plus one. Victoria was just close enough in this wedding to where she couldn't really dip out early. You know what I mean? So we wound up staying until 11:30. So needless to say, I was pretty worthless on Sunday and Monday, but we knocked it out. Cassie, Catholic wedding. I am not Catholic. I grew up Baptist. Mm-hmm. Catholic weddings, incredibly long.
Yes.
Incredibly. This one here, I think they called it a half mass wedding or something like that. Like, this one was only maybe 30 to 40 minutes. Went to a Catholic wedding back in April. It lasted over an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah, my sister's wedding was pretty long.
Oh, well, that makes sense with Jessie.
Yeah,
she's over the top of everything.
Yeah.
Beck, we kind of talked about this. Me and Beck are becoming good friends today because we're doing all 3 shows together. How was the Christmas, man? What did we do? We got into it a little bit this morning. We need some deets, though.
Yeah, it was really good. I talked about it last week on Hunt's show, but I have a lot of family events for Christmas. I have my dad, I have my mom, and I have my wife's side of the family. So we have a lot going on. We're leaving tonight. I was gonna be leaving a little bit earlier, but doing AFR, so leaving a little bit later. But we have my wife's grandparents in Mississippi will be driving there tonight, so we'll have their Christmas stuff on Saturday. So just a lot going on, but it's all good, man. We have a lot of good family tradition stuff. We always will go to my mom's. Well, we go to my mom's house. It used to be my grandmother's house, but we go to my mom's now, and my whole side of the family goes. I have 7. My mom has 6 siblings, so it's a lot of family. We have a lot of people. We fit into a house and have a good time. So that's always really good and fun. So yeah, it was a long few days.
Are you not doing the Hunt Palmer show tomorrow?
No, I'm out.
Who's in for you?
You, I think.
Is it me?
It probably is. Honestly, I don't even remember actually.
Dude, I don't even know.
Oh, actually, it's Jordan.
Thank God.
It's Jordan, actually. Yeah.
Beck,
Don't
I
do
was
Taylor
going
that.
to be so mad at you.
I honestly
if it was
forgot.
me.
No, I honestly forgot. I couldn't remember if it was you or not, but I know for a fact it is Jordan. So you can, yes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm trying to high five Hunt on the way out the door tomorrow, man. I'm trying to get out of here relatively early.
You're good.
I did our guy a solid today. All right, look, before we get into sports, best Christmas gifts you guys got. What did we get? I knew Cassie racked up. What we got?
I did. I got some nice on clouds that I asked for.
Ooh, good
And-
Are they size 9s? Because then you could be like on cloud 9.
I know. There's no way. You probably wear a 6,
unfortunately,
huh?
I got small feet. I had
Yeah.
a 7.
Okay.
But then I also got a really nice suitcase that I asked for.
Oh.
I don't
Where
have
are we
any.
going?
I'm not going anywhere.
gotta have a good suitcase.
I just personally don't have any suitcases.
I feel
I
like
just got
getting a
these big
suitcase.
duffel bags.
I feel like
instead.
getting a suitcase without having a trip planned is kind of a slap in the
Well,
face.
no,
Like you
no,
just
no.
have to look at it and it's
Well,
going to
I mean,
collect
I
dust.
I travel home a lot to Metairie, which like isn't a far drive, but like I
That's true.
still need a suitcase.
That's true. A
and
little
something
go
to pack.
bag.
I don't want to like carry around a duffel bag all the time.
What was the
Suitcase
best
is
gift
nice.
Jacob Beck got this holiday?
Oh man. Shoot, that's a good question.
Beck got like a World War II Russian gun.
I did get a old. It's an older.
It's a musket.
Yeah, it's not a musket.
Nice.
It is a pistol.
Oh.
But no, that's I don't know if that's the best. I don't know, man. My wife, like I did mention this on OTV, and my wife got me a really cool Led Zeppelin record. I actually got my wife a Taylor Swift album,
Shout
Cassie.
out.
So
Wearing
shout
the
out to
Taylor
that.
Swift
Yep.
shirt today.
Yep. Had to. She wanted some Taylor vinyl, so I got her Evermore on vinyl. So that was pretty cool. I don't know, man. I guess my favorite gift was probably the Led Zeppelin record. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, that's probably it. What about you?
Dude, Victoria did well. Okay, so I actually found these pair of boots. I love cowboy boots. That's kind of my thing. I got 5 or 6 pair of them now. Last Christmas, I found a pair. They were black and they were snakeskin. I don't wear exotic boots. I'm basically plain brown and black. I mean, y'all know me. I'm plain Jane over here. But I was like, if I'm gonna get a pair, I'm gonna go all out. I told her not to buy these. I said, look, they're a little too expensive. I'll just go with a classic pair, tan or something like that. She sent me a picture of these tan ones. Thought I was getting that. Christmas morning, I opened them. They're the snakeskin boots that I had wanted for a year. So she did.
Tricked you up there.
Yeah, she did. She did really well. Didn't wear them today because it didn't really feel like it went with this dry fit. So maybe we'll see them tomorrow. You don't get to,
yeah,
unfortunately.
that's okay. I'll hopefully maybe somebody will take a picture and I'll get to see.
Well,
them.
you guys good Christmas though, right?
Yes.
All around.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. That means that you guys did not watch any of the Christmas Day NFL games that occurred yesterday. Of course, I'm talking Ravens, Texans, and Chiefs, Steelers. If you did watch these, bless you. I'm sure it was a complete waste of time. The Ravens beat the Houston Texans 31-2. And I got to tell you, look, they're probably still going to win their division. They're probably going to make the playoffs. Houston Texans, to me, are the most disappointing team in the NFL this year. We saw C.J. Stroud do what a lot of rookie quarterbacks had not done last year. He led his team to the playoffs. He gets a wild card playoff victory over the Cleveland Browns, who at the time were red hot under Joe Flacco. They have not been the same. Now, they are injured. I mean, Stephon Diggs is out for the year. Tank Dell's having season-ending surgery. Nico Collins has been in and out of the lineup. And I get that. You're throwing to a lot of nobodies out there, but C.J. Stroud just has not been good. I mean, I was one of those people that thought Stroud was going to struggle in the NFL. And, I always tell T-Bob and Jake, I had the stupidest reason behind this. My thought process was, Ohio State quarterbacks are terrible in the NFL. Why should I believe C.J. Stroud's any different? It's a good strategy until it's proven wrong. C.J. Stroud proved me wrong, but guys, this year he just has not been the same. 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I mean, that's not going to cut it. I don't really care who you're throwing to. I mean, for the majority of the season, Patrick Mahomes, who we'll get into in just a minute, has thrown to a lot of nobodies outside of Travis Kelce. He's done just fine for the most part. So the Texans' struggles, they're 9-7 right now. Again, they're probably still going to win that division because Anthony Richardson ain't it with the Colts. We know what the Jaguars are doing. Like that division's a mess right now. Flipping to the other game, the Kansas City Chiefs once again get a victory. This time to the Steelers, who are a really good team, but the Steelers lost 3 straight games. Kansas City wins that game 29-10. Now, saw this stat earlier this morning. There are 4 teams in the NFL that have yet to score over 30 points because the Chiefs have scored 30 twice. Over 30 points. The Giants, who are 3-12, the Raiders, who are 3-12, and the Patriots, who are 3-12. The outlier, the Kansas City Chiefs have not scored over 30 points this year, and they are 15-1. Beck, if I asked you right now who's going to win the Super Bowl, and it could maybe have changed at the beginning of the year, doesn't matter. Right now, who would win the Super Bowl? What is your answer?
I'll say I'm pretty sure me and Hunt talked about this before the season started, and if I remember correctly, I was actually very high on the Buffalo Bills, as many people weren't actually.
I still am.
Some people were a little low on them because they were losing some talent, and Josh Allen, is still going to be good, but they just aren't going to have enough overall depth on the roster. But I was still high on them. I think I had them in the Super Bowl, and I honestly still think that they have a really good chance at making it. Obviously, they're going to have to go through Kansas City, as they usually do, but I still think they have a really good chance to get to the Super Bowl. So I think they're going to get there.
I love Josh Allen. He's one of my favorite players. If you asked me this question a week ago, I probably would have been right there with you and said the Buffalo Bills, but I hate to be chalk here, but I have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs now. And I don't want to do it because I want to see somebody else win, but all season long, and I'm sure you've been this way as well, I've been like, man, the Chiefs are getting so lucky. They're getting bailed out of these close games. When do we take away luck and start talking about how this team is just really good and they know how to win close games? There was a stat a couple weeks ago. Now, it's not true anymore because they've been in control the last 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, there was a stat that said if you got rid of the last 2 minutes of every NFL game this season, the Kansas City Chiefs would have the worst record in the NFL. But it doesn't matter because when you have an excellent defense, again, only team in the NFL to not score over 30 points that has a winning record. You have an excellent defense. Your running game has actually been shaky. Pacheco's been in and out of the lineup. Kareem Hunt's kind of been your main guy. You have Patrick Mahomes. You have Travis Kelce. You have one of the best kickers in the league, and Harrison Butker, who's back in action now.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Is it curling up on the couch for a cozy, peaceful night in? Therapy can feel a bit like that. Your comfort place where you replenish your energy. With BetterHelp, get matched with a therapist based on your needs, entirely online. It's convenient and suited to your schedule. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more and save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
You have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Andy Reid. This team knows how to win close games. That's what the playoffs is. And honestly, when you look at their schedule, this team's getting better. I mean, because, we had talked about it, right? 2-point win here, 3-point win here. I mean, on November 29th, a few days after Thanksgiving, they beat the Raiders 19-17. And everybody, myself included, said, hey, they can't keep this up. They beat the Chargers 19-17. Chargers, good team, playoff team. They shut down the Browns. They win that 21-7. They dominate the Texans in that game. I get it was 27-19. The Texans never had a shot to win that game. The Chiefs are getting better, if you can believe that. They are better right now than they were in week 1. Hollywood Brown, I get it. He had 4 catches for 46 yards, and you're probably thinking, okay, well, that's not much. This is his first action of the year. he got involved. He's going to be a guy. He's had a lot of playoff experience with the Ravens. That is another weapon for Patrick Mahomes to throw to. And as much as I hate to say it, I mean, Josh Allen certainly has the talent to do it. And he's won close games this year. That's been Allen's big thing, right? He's been able to win games when the game is on the line, and he hasn't made the crucial turnovers that he has in the past. I firmly believe Josh Allen should be the MVP this year. Him, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, I think that's your clear 1, 2, 3 right there. But until somebody knocks him off, I cannot pick against the Kansas City Chiefs. As unfortunate as that sounds, they've also locked up the 1 seed in the playoffs. So they have home field advantage. It is so hard to win in Kansas City. That's why everybody praised Joe Burrow and the Bengals for as long as they did, because their path to the Super Bowl, they had to go to Arrowhead Stadium. They had to knock off the Chiefs. Josh Allen hasn't been able to do that. Now, earlier in the year, they played, and the Bills won that game, and they certainly looked like the better team. That was in Buffalo, though. Now they have to go to Arrowhead. Josh Allen and the Bills have not been good in Arrowhead. They have the easiest path to the playoffs. They know how to win close games. Their quarterback, who is the best quarterback in the league, despite what the numbers may say this year, is getting better. And their defense is dominant. If they can get Pacheco back fully going, get Hollywood Brown and those receivers that are getting healthier, the Chiefs are going to be so hard to stop. And it's unfortunate to say, not that I, hate the Chiefs. I'm not a Chiefs hater or anything. I just want to see somebody else win. But until somebody else does, I got to roll with the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, look, we're going to take a quick timeout. I know that segment was a little all over the place. We did the Christmas recap, NFL games as well. When we get back, we are going to talk New Orleans Saints. They put up a stinker against the Green Bay Packers. We're going to be joined by Luke Johnson on the other side here on the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Hunt Palmer Show. You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Rouse's Supermarkets.
All right, welcome back into a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Taylor Sharp here with you, filling in for Hunt Palmer, who is taking a much-needed day off. Our guy Hunt, I don't believe, is taking a vacation all football season. He didn't have a summer one as well. I told him, hey, take the day off. I can hold it down for you here on this Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, every Thursday at 1:15, Luke Johnson with The Advocate hops on to talk New Orleans Saints. Luke, how are you today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke, obviously the Saints put up a stinker on Monday night, right? I mean, the Packers beat them 34-0, was not a competitive football game. After a loss like this, somebody like you who covers this team all the time, can you think of any positives to take away from this game?
No, no positives. I mean, like, I guess you could say, like, you get a longer look at some of the young guys, but like, it is such a bad situation a lot of those guys are dropped into, where I just don't know, like somebody like Spencer Rattler, for instance, like what can you even take away from that game? You see he's playing without Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Taysom Hill. Eric McCoy was lost in the first series of the game. It was just like, he was playing with the JV Saints against a really, really good football team. Like, what can you take away from that? No positives whatsoever to take away from that. Not even like, the positive from the negative. Like it's just something they need to completely flush and forget about, frankly.
So speaking of Spencer Rattler, what do you think his future is here in New Orleans? Because, we see him, sometimes he makes great plays, sometimes he makes head-scratcher plays, but to your point, he's a rookie and he doesn't have much help out there. I mean, how do you think this team views him as far as his future in New Orleans?
I mean, I think about the same way they viewed him going into the season, right? He's got a lot of talent. There's stuff that you see even in these games where his performance has really lagged. There's some traits that you see that you're really excited about. But he's started 4 games, and every one of those 4 games, he's been in like kind of a crap situation just in terms of who's around him. And I don't think you can really look at those games and make a definitive decision that like he can never be the guy. So yeah, really, he probably shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place, where you're really relying on him to go out and win games. And I think that you just use this offseason to continue to develop the positive stuff and try to have him learn from the negative stuff. And hopefully the next time he's in this situation where he has to play, He's surrounded by like a legitimate first-team NFL starting offense.
You were talking earlier, Luke Johnson joining us right now. You were talking earlier about maybe the only positive is like, hey, we get to see some of these young guys play. One of those guys that everybody was excited about was Kendre Miller because Alvin Kamara was out. You got to see finally a healthy Kendre Miller as the lead back. He has 8 carries for 15 yards. And, a lot of that's on the offensive line. Some of you could put on him. And what did you kind of make of his performance?
Yeah, I wish he saw more. The explanation we were given after the game is that, they were in their 2-minute offense for much of the second half. But, I get that to a respect. It kind of feels like a little bit of, we don't want to throw a young player under the bus who's already kind of, been thrown under it and run over a couple times this year. I feel like there had to have been a different reason he wasn't on the field because, this team's not going anywhere. Even if you're running your 2-minute offense, you had no chance of winning that game. So just see what you got in the player. I was disappointed we didn't get to see more of him because, we've only really seen him be like the feature back one time. That was week 18 of last year. He looked really, really good. Obviously he's missed so much time with injury. You just want to see more of him out on the field. So I definitely came away disappointed with that. Not just because of the statistical line, but it was because we just didn't get to see much of him.
Luke, I was looking for positives as well after this game. And if I found one, it might be Demario Davis, and not necessarily the game he had. I mean, he did lead you in tackles with 10. He had a tackle for a loss, sure. But, last week he led you in tackles again with 14. He had a sack. At 35 years old, I watched Demario Davis on this defense. He's made his money. He's 35. He's on a team that is going nowhere this season. It'd be very easy for a guy like him, Kamara, Cam Jordan, all those guys to mail it in. Demario Davis still playing at a high level. Where do you think he ranks now among Saints all-time greats?
Pretty far up there. Let's see. He's been here since 2018, so this is his 7th season with the Saints. And he's topped 100 tackles in every single season. He's made all pros. He is absolutely, without a doubt, a Saints Hall of Famer. And I think he's got a borderline NFL Hall of Fame chance. He's one of the best defenders they've ever had in here, certainly since the Dome Patrol days. They went a long time with really just bad linebacker play here. He ranks up there. It's like in the all-time annals. You're right up there with guys like Sam Mills. Is some of the best defensive players ever wear a Saints uniform. I am going to be curious to see what happens after this year, though. He's playing at a high level, but he's not playing at like the Demario Davis level that we know. Yeah. There's just been a little bit of slippage in his game, and I'm curious if he still wants to play. And if he still wants to play, if he's going to get an opportunity to continue doing it here. I think this organization has to make some really tough decisions this offseason. You just wonder if they want to continue rolling the guys like Cam and Tyron and Demario out there, even though they're still, I think, capable NFL football players. Demario's case, still a very good NFL football player. Or if they want to, kind of give into this youth movement, which they've been delaying for a long time. It's really an interesting situation for them, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Speaking of, right there into the next one, you're talking about Davis's slippage in play a little bit and what the future is going to look like. Luke, is there a group of young guys you would say, hey, this is the core group of guys for the future on the Saints defense?
Yeah, I think really the only way you could look at it is in the secondary, right? They're very young in the secondary outside of Tyron. Alontae Taylor, you've got Kool-Aid McKinstry. Both of them are under contract for next season. Paulson Adebo is a free agent, or he's going to be a free agent. He might have.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit the Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. What's your perfect night? Maybe you're settled at home alone or with loved ones, covered in blankets, about to watch your favorite show. It's cozy, it's calm, and you're ready for a perfect night in. Therapy can feel a bit like that, a place for comfort, a time when you replenish your energy and take care of yourself. And hey, you can even do it without leaving that same cozy couch. This season is the perfect time to give therapy a try, right from the comfort of home. With BetterHelp, get matched with a tailored therapist based on your needs and preferences entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find comfort this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
Instead of playing himself out of New Orleans, because of his injury, he might be available to come back and sign a short-term kind of prove-it deal off that injury. I think they're still young there, but like everywhere else, I think they could probably use like an infusion of young talent on this roster. Frankly, that goes for the offensive side of the ball too. Like they've got to get young playmakers pretty much everywhere except for the secondary.
Let's shift from roster of the future to head coach of the future. Seems like every week a new coaching job people are suspecting will come open, where the Saints rank on the list of like vacant head coaching jobs. As far as Darren Rizzi goes, how realistic of a shot do you think he has to be the full-time guy next season?
Yeah, I mean, if I were like handicapping it at like a percentage chance, I don't know, like 10 or 15. Mm-hmm. We had a conversation, me and a couple of my colleagues in the media corps, just like about whether the Packers loss, effectively ended his candidacy. And I don't think it did. He's going to get an interview regardless. But I don't think that one really, really bad loss is like them just saying like, well, this guy obviously can't do it. We've seen Hall of Fame coaches have their teams just get blown out before. I don't think you can look at one individual game. It's got to be the body of work. And I still think the body of work has been good enough to merit him being a legitimate candidate. But I think there might be some fatigue in this organization for the way things have gone for a long time. You remove a future Hall of Fame coach and a future Hall of Fame quarterback from the equation and Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and it hasn't looked good. And maybe they just want to rip that Band-Aid off and go with a completely new direction. I think that probably hurts Rizzi's chances. I think the whole idea of interim coaches taking over as head coaches and failing generally, it probably doesn't help Rizzi's chances. I think he should be a candidate. I think he will be interviewed. I think there is a small chance that he gets a job, but I think he's got to add to that body of work in these next two games and not let kind of that really, really bad loss in Green Bay turn into more chances to knock his candidacy.
Speaking of these last few games, I mean, you have your next game is against the Raiders, who certainly have their struggles as well, and then you close it out with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm not even talking win-loss here, Luke. What are some things you want to see during these last few games?
I mean, I want to see some of these young guys play and play well. Like I said, this is just a roster that has a really desperate need for cheap young talent. Guys who they've drafted and developed, and they're getting this chance now. They show you can do it against a team like the Raiders. Show you can do it against a team like the Bucks, who they're not like these world beaters. I think you can go out there and have success against a team like that. They really need that so bad in this organization, and these guys haven't really shown it, despite having a lot of chances this year because of all the injuries the Saints have dealt with. So, I want to see them get out there and get on the field and show they can be it. Otherwise, the Saints have a lot of work to do on this roster.
All right, Luke, I have kept you long enough. Thank you so much for hopping on with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you later.
Luke Johnson right there covers the Saints for The Advocate. I agree with him. I don't think Darren Rizzi gets this job, and he said he doesn't believe that that Packers loss kind of ended things for Darren Rizzi. I do, and again, not because of Darren Rizzi or anything he did in particular. You can kind of see that interim bump that they call it, that spark you get when you make a coaching change, is effectively gone. It is out the window. What I wanted to see was, can this team continue to get better under Darren Rizzi? First 3 or 4 weeks, they looked really good. You kind of seen it fizzle and fall by the wayside again. So I agree. I don't think that Darren Rizzi will be the full-time head coach of the New Orleans Saints. All right, look, we're going to take a quick timeout. We're going to continue with Saints next. Mock draft came out, and it has the Saints taking a quarterback. We'll talk about which one that may be on the other side of things here on the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge, genesisofbatonrouge.com. They're the only fully exclusive Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana, and they're right here in Baton Rouge. I told y'all earlier this week, we were driving, my wife goes, "Oh, that's that car I really like. It's a Genesis." And she had no idea that I even do this. I was like, yeah, they're really nice. They're really, really nice. And you should know it too. You don't see a ton of Genesis on the road because it's fairly new to our city here. They've only been at that location for a year and a half, but go check it out. It's a luxury vehicle. It's a luxury experience to be a Genesis driver. That means 3 years of complimentary maintenance, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's a luxury experience at a reasonable price over at Genesis of Baton Rouge. Every single car that's on the lot at Genesis of Baton Rouge is online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. And all of them, every single model, from the entry level to the highest end, come with the same safety features. Safety is a priority for Genesis. Go check them out. Genesis of Baton Rouge. They're online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. That's Genesis of Baton Rouge.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Rouse's Supermarkets.
Welcome back into a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Rouse's Supermarkets. Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair for Hunt Palmer, who is off today. He will be back tomorrow, though. He is going to drive you into your weekend. I teased it going into break a little bit there. We were talking just with Luke Johnson about the future of the New Orleans Saints, and anytime somebody brings up the future, obviously you're talking about the vacant head coaching position, but it's the quarterback position as well, right? You gave Derek Carr a huge contract 2 years ago, and the results have been mixed up and down, however the nicest way you want to put it, for his inconsistent play. And the Saints don't have a ton of wins because of Derek Carr. He's been in and out of the lineup with injuries. You've rolled with Jay Kaner. You've rolled with Spencer Rattler. Now, neither of them have had a ton of help along the way because you're so injured across the board. Beck, I want to ask you this real quick. If I asked you right now, yes or no, is Jay Kaner the future of the New Orleans Saints? Yes or no?
No.
I agree. Absolutely not. Is Spencer Rattler the future of the New Orleans Saints?
Probably not.
Probably not. So, again, I agree with you there. It hasn't seen a ton of promise, but to Luke's point, he hasn't had a lot to work with. He had a makeshift offensive line really up until the last 2 or 3 weeks. He doesn't have a ton of weapons to throw to, but it's kind of been mixed. You know, we don't think so. Everyone's kind of holding out hope that the Saints may have found a steal in the 5th round. So what do you do at quarterback in the future? Well, Matt Holder of Bleacher Report, he believes that the Saints should draft a quarterback in this year's draft. And obviously they're not going to be one of these top 5 picks that can get the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the draft. Matt Holder throws out an interesting name that not a lot of people have talked about. He mentions Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. Now, a lot of people are going to take pause on that and say, well, you know, Klubnik's been inconsistent in his college career, and for sure, he was probably thrown into the fire a little bit before he was ready as a freshman, but look at what he's done this year. He led them to the playoff, and yeah, they got eliminated by Texas. I understand that, but Cade Klubnik, 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for him this year at Clemson. That's a really good season. The problem is Cade Klubnik is far from a finished product. Also, it's not official yet on what he's going to do as far as, is he going to enter the draft? Is he not going to enter the draft? I personally think it would be wise for Klubnik to go back to school for Clemson another year, unless you think you were a bona fide first-round pick, because we saw those receivers he was throwing to, right? They started getting chemistry more at the end of the year. All those guys are freshmen and sophomore. They're likely all coming back. The ACC being down, Klubnik coming back for another year with these young receivers, all the talent around him. He'd have to be a favorite to win the ACC, to make the college football playoff again, and potentially enter his name into the Heisman Trophy conversation. So I actually think Klubnik should come back. But let's say it's not Klubnik. Let's say it's somebody else. What this article states is, as far as Matt Holder goes, it would be wise for Mickey Loomis to move on from Derek Carr this offseason, seeing as the Saints are currently projected to begin the offseason $63.8 million over the cap, and making Carr a post-June 1 cut would save them about $34 million. Also, he's 34 years old in the spring. Now, that all sounds fine, but when you take the dead cap into consideration, Adam Schefter actually broke this down a few days ago. First off, Derek Carr has a no-trade clause. He would have to waive that no-trade clause. I personally don't see Derek Carr doing that. The Saints are already on the books for $48.4 million of dead money. That's with the Marshawn Lattimore trade, cutting Michael Thomas, getting rid of Jameis Winston. That leads the NFL. So $48.4 million in dead money heading into the offseason. If you cut Derek Carr, that would put you at almost $100 million in dead cap money. He mentions that this team needs a lot in free agency. It would be incredibly difficult to offer competitive offers in free agency when you have $100 million tied up in money to players that aren't even on the team anymore. Also, you have a coaching vacancy. Now, ideally, you would bring in a coach and a quarterback at the same time. Let them kind of, throw them both into the fire in year one, kind of learn on the fly together. That kind of is in Derek Carr's disadvantage, because if the Saints are going to hire a new head coach, maybe you want to bring in a quarterback. But as far as
whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive, versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
Fred runs his own landscaping business.
Yeah, with my two brothers.
They take their business very seriously.
Sure do.
Fred traded up to commercial auto insurance from Geico for serious customized coverage that grows as his business does, all for seriously low rates.
All right, so when's it gonna happen? The big Geico surprise.
I'm sorry?
Some hair metal band. Are they gonna jump out of those bushes?
No, this is a serious Geico ad.
That pyro was pretty cool, though.
Get more with Geico Commercial Insurance. Trade up today at geico.com/commercial.
Head coaching jobs that are coming open, which one's going to be the most desirable for these coaching candidates? With or without Derek Carr? Let's say you get rid of Derek Carr. Do you want to go to a team that has no certainty as far as the future of their quarterback position? All of your stars, quote unquote, on your team are aging, and you have $100 million tied up in dead money for players that aren't even on the team anymore. That's honestly not that desirable to me. Putting Derek Carr back into the equation, it's not great at the same time, but you still have a veteran quarterback. You can say, okay, I'll come in, I'll draft my guy who I don't necessarily think is going to be the starter day one. He can come in, he can learn under a veteran in Derek Carr. I can kind of steady the ship year one, and then year two, boom, no excuses. I got my guy into the building. I've revamped everything. This team is more than just a quarterback away from competing. Now, obviously, a quarterback helps a lot of things, right? A good quarterback can mask a lot of deficiencies on your team. This team is a lot more than just a quarterback away. So, as much as I would like for the Saints to make some move and say, hey, we got our quarterback, he's our hotshot guy for the future, he's a can't-miss player. First off, there are no such thing as can't-miss players. I always firmly believe that. And secondly, again, with that dead cap money, it would be $100 million if you cut Derek Carr. How desirable is this job at that point to potential coaching candidates? Look at the jobs that are coming open. The Giants, in all likelihood, could come open. The New York Jets are open. What about the Raiders? Do they give Antonio Pierce another year? Do they not? What about the Jacksonville Jaguars? Because you haven't been good. Trevor Lawrence seems like he may have degressed a little bit, but maybe a change in coach will turn that around. Trevor Lawrence still a young player, still very talented. He had that good second year where he led his team to the playoffs, actually upset the Chargers in that playoff game. There are a lot of teams out there that are going to be looking for head coaches. as the organization of the New Orleans Saints, you have to pitch to coaches. Coaches are pitching themselves to you as to why you should hire them. You also have to pitch yourself to potential candidates why they should join this organization and not a different organization that may have younger stars, that may have more cap space. I'm all for moving on from Derek Carr because that experiment looks like it has failed. But at the same time, how desirable does that job become if Derek Carr is not on that roster and you have all that dead cap money? You can't sign free agents. You're not going to be high enough in the draft to get a top 5 pick. You don't really have a ton of young stars. Chris Olave's future is certainly up in the air. You signed Kamara to a long-term deal, but he's aging. Kendre Miller, we still don't know about. And then on defense, Alontae Taylor looks great. Paulson Adebo, awesome. You got Brian Brzee on the defensive line, but outside of those guys, Jordan's getting older. DeMario Davis is getting older. Tyrann Mathieu is getting older. You don't really have an identity on this team, and without a quarterback in place, I don't know how desirable this job becomes to potential coaching candidates. All right, look, we're going to take a quick timeout. Don't worry, we are moving away from the New Orleans Saints. That'll do it for our Saints talk for the day. Coming up on the other side of this break, we have a surprise guest. You'll have to stay tuned to find out who that is. That's coming up here on the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
LeBear's Baton Rouge. Got to make LeBear's your game day headquarters this season. They've got the biggest screens around, and now you can bet and dine at ESPN Bet in person. It's a fantastic sports book to go check out. If you haven't, highly recommend you do so. They've got great seating options, whether it's a solo chair you can hang out in with a little shelf in front of you that you can put your food on. You can get the big group tables that you can sit on. The screens are huge. You can watch multiple games at once. Drink specials are fantastic. Got the sportsbook window right behind you. There's blackjack tables in there as well. It's a great place to hang out, enjoy some sports, and win some cash. And plus, you can sign up today for the Cover 5 SEC contest. Sign up, compete against me. Folks have been doing it all season long. Folks have been beating me all season long. You put the promo code in, LABRSEC24. That's LABRSEC24. Pick the games every week and see if you can win weekly prizes. If you're not a member, get the Pin Play app today. LeBear's Baton Rouge, your live sports headquarters. Must be 21 years or older. Got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966 for help.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Rouse's Supermarkets.
Into a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Taylor Sharp sitting in the big chair for our guy Hunt Palmer on a Thursday edition brought to you by Rouse's Supermarket. I mentioned that we have a surprise guest, so let's go out to the phone lines right now and talk to Hunt Palmer, the guy who is usually sitting in this chair. Hunt, what's going on?
The Hunt Palmer Show. I was born to be on this show. Amazing name for a show.
What is on the agenda for you today? You took the day off, and because of you, I am doing OTB, Hunt Palmer, and AFR. But I'm glad one of us is having a good day. What's on the agenda? The schedule's wide open.
The schedule is fairly wide open. We had a grocery store run this morning that involved a 3-year-old and a bouncy ball, which was a really poor decision by Dad. It got caught under some contraption. I had to get on the floor in Albertsons to try. It's just ridiculous. And then we are talking, doing a little gumbo here while he takes a nap. And I'm watching this SEC football thing, and I found out that Charles McClendon played for Bear Bryant at Kentucky. I didn't know that, so I just watched this little documentary thing, and I learned that today. So plenty of stuff going on.
I didn't know that either. He certainly didn't beat Bear Bryant very often. Hunt, you told me when we called you were going to be in the process of making a roux. How is that going?
The roux is going well. We're on beer number 1. We're still stirring here. Things are progressing. We should have a nice gumbo here by 6 o'clock or so. We're very excited about that. The house smells excellent, which is really the best part of the entire gumbo. I like the fact that the house smells good more than I like eating the gumbo, quite honestly.
No golf today?
No golf today. I never play golf. It's just pathetic. I don't.
You're a joke, Hunt. We know.
This, handicap calculator thing. I played 6 rounds of golf this year, and 3 of them were in one tournament on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, and you live 5 minutes away from a championship golf course.
Well, it's not really a proximity thing. It's more of a parenting thing and a work thing, and just I don't know. It's just
stick Myers in a high chair. Stick Myers in a high chair or a booster seat. Put him in the golf cart next to you and go play some golf. Hunt. What's the problem here?
He's not an infant. He's 3 tomorrow. He can't sit still for anything. I just told you he's running around the grocery store with a bouncy ball. I think he's going to handle a golf course. It's going to be a free-for-all. I'll never get him in the cart, and if I do, he'll probably jump out.
Speaking of, how is the Myers man doing? The big day's tomorrow, right? Y'all got any plans for the birthday? Are y'all celebrating it today since you and your wife are both home?
We're struggling with the fact that his birthday party was last week, but his birthday is tomorrow. He keeps talking about his birthday party tomorrow. There is no party tomorrow. I'm going to work. We're going to go get a donut, and that's going to be the extent of the birthday festivities. He had a party last weekend, so it's not hitting home quite yet, but he does realize he's going to be 3. It's a big week in the Palmer house. We have Christmas yesterday. His birthday is tomorrow. His mom's birthday is 30th. There's just a lot going on, but we'll survive it.
Best Christmas gift Hunt Palmer received yesterday. What was it?
Oh man, I got a lot of socks, which is real boring. What did I get that was cool? I run in the mornings, so I got a beanie that has a headlight on it, so people don't crash into me and kill me as I'm running. But really, the highlight of Christmas was the 3-year-old who figured out Santa Claus for the first time. That was very cool. Although, I will say, on Christmas Eve, he was super excited to leave the cookies and milk out. And he was super excited that Santa Claus was going to come, and hopefully we were going to get a bike and a helmet. And at a certain point on Christmas Eve, I think it was when we kind of got into his bedroom to put him down to sleep, he realized that a big guy was going to come down the chimney into the house, and he did not like that at all, and he did not want us to leave the room. He said that Rudolph was going to come through the roof, which seems unlikely, but it was a fear of his. So it went from excitement to terrified pretty quickly, but we pacified that, and he got to sleep.
Well, if any consolation, you let Myers know I'm still scared of Santa coming down my chimney at night. Did Santa come through?
Santa came through with the bike. Santa brought a balanced bike, which I will say was expertly assembled by Santa Claus and the elves.
Okay.
Amazing
I don't believe that at all.
That together. And he doesn't quite get it yet because he's been using a little trike that has this doesn't have pedals.
Okay.
You're supposed to just push yourself, and then you learn, and then you put pedals on.
Okay, so it's like a training bike.
Yeah, it's called a balance bike, and so we got out there today because it rained all day yesterday. We couldn't really use it. We got out there today. We made some progress, but there's work to be done. But the bike and the helmet did come in. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter yesterday. The helmet stayed on for 12 hours yesterday. It's pretty impressive effort to wear a helmet, and through 2 one-hour car rides and throughout dinner, he wore the helmet.
Well,
so we got that off, but he put it on this morning again. He likes the helmet a lot.
The important question, though, Hunt, is he coachable?
Oh, that's to be determined. He's not great at it. I'll be quite honest. There's a lot of selfish behavior. There's not a lot of sharing, and we don't really do things the way we're supposed to. I just mentioned the bouncy ball earlier. It's just an absolute joke. Just throwing things around the grocery store. So I would say that's to be determined. But at this point, it's not great.
Speaking of not great, Hunt Palmer, quick thought on Saints-Packers Monday night. What'd you think?
Yeah, that was not great. The offense was terrible and the defense was terrible. Other than that, they were pretty rock solid. I was listening obviously a little bit earlier. I do think that's probably a disqualifying situation for Darren Ridley.
Yeah, I think he's done.
This organization needs to rip it down. They haven't done it. They need to do it. You don't need to hire the special teams coach and keep the general manager around. They've got to get some new faces in there. So I think maybe that's a good thing. I'm always very tentative when I talk about this. I don't feel like telling fans not to cheer for their team. But to be honest, at this point, things falling apart is okay for the Saints. If they can move up 3 spots in the draft, that's good. If it forces them to go in a different direction with a coach, that's good. The organization's in a bad spot. They need to go a completely different direction.
Speaking of that, who at this station has yet to send you the station surveys? Because I sent mine this morning.
I know who was last.
We don't need to talk about it, though.
I mean, that makes sense.
That was last. I'll give Alondra a bit of a pass. She's in a different state.
It's true.
She's not sent one in.
But the last two were Jacob Beck and T. Bob Hebert.
You know what? Sticking to the norms here.
That didn't need to be
Guarantee
mentioned.
Media. Not surprised one bit about either one of those. All right, we're up for a hard break, huh? We've kept you long enough. Don't burn the roo. Have a good rest of your day.
I'm all over it, boys. Thank you all so much for pinch hitting. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Hunt Palmer right there, the everyday host of the namesake, the Hunt Palmer Show. All right, look. Wrapping up hour number one, we talked a lot of New Orleans Saints, which pretty much means it was a depressing first hour here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Next hour, we're going to be a lot better. We're going to dive into some LSU football. We'll have Chris Blair on. We'll talk some college football playoff. That's all coming up here in hour number two of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If you're struggling, folks, with the Christmas gift for the loved one in your life, how about a new bathroom? How about a brand new closet? That'd probably be pretty well received, I would think. I know in my house, the one we lived in previously, my wife hated the closets. So if I could have gotten David Duvall and his team to come into that house and redo things, I think she would have been very, very happy. Unfortunately, I knew that we were going to move, so we just prioritized a closet in the move. If you don't want to move because you got a great interest rate and you're happy right where you are, you can still get that great custom closet. Every single thing specifically designed for you. David and his team can do it. They can handle your work in the bathroom as well. Get that free consultation with David and his team. Check out the website, onebathandclosets.com. Start right there. Get the consultation, see pictures of their great work, see their reviews from the satisfied customers, and get the show on the road. It's David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta holiday market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.